Yeah.
Alright lads, got another video today. Sorry it's been a while since I've uploaded a video. I've just been on a nice little family holiday, as you can tell by my glorious suntan. No, I don't get suntans, I just go pink and then I go back to being white again. So the reason for today's video, I've had a question on Instagram from a lad who is looking to buy a MK2 Focus RS, and he's asking us loads of questions about how much this costs, how much that costs. So I thought I'd kind of do a breakdown of like an annual, what you're going to pay, what it's going to cost you, what you're going to have to spend. So if we start off with the car itself, right, let's base this on sort of mid-range MK2 Focus RS at around 25 grand. Let's say 25 grand's our price. Now in your 25 grand range, you're going to be able to buy a nice Focus RS Mark II, you're going to be able to buy a Mark III, you're going to be able to buy a Golf R, and all kind of going to be in that sort of price bracket. Now depending on how you want to buy it, you're going to pay different monthly instalments. Now I would recommend you save up all your pocket money and you buy it outright. I don't like car finance, never have done, but if you're not in a position where you can do that, you've got really three options. So you can get PCP, you can get a bank loan, or you can get finance. Your PCP is going to cost you around 471, your loan is going to cost you 450, and your finance is going to cost you 491. So they're kind of average prices now. They are just off Google sort of search calculators for finance, PCP and loans and stuff. So you're going to be looking anywhere between 450 and 500 quid a month to buy the car itself. So once you've got the car, you then need to insure it. And that's probably going to be your biggest expense on a yearly basis, is going to be your insurance. Now the insurance company I use is Adrian Flux, really good company. They specialise in modified cars. They do all sorts of other crazy stuff like camper vans and classic cars and stuff, but modified cars is what they're really good at, so they know a lot about cars. These are not just, you know, random people on the phone selling insurance. These are people who know about cars. So the lad who sold me my insurance actually had a Focus RS Mark II as well, so we knew all sorts about it. So when I told him what mods I had on the car, he pretty much told us what power it was running. He kind of knew more about the car than I did, which was nice. So the difference with a modified car policy, you've got different types of modified car policies. If you just take out normal insurance and don't declare your mods, your insurance is going to be void. Not worth it. If you crash your car, if it gets stolen, whatever, or if you get stopped by the police, they can void your insurance and seize your car because it's technically classed as not being insured. So always declare your mods. If you go through a normal insurance company, so one of the big insurance companies, you can declare your mods, but it's not a fully modified policy. So what that means is it's going to cover you legally to drive the car with your mods. So your car's modded, it's insured properly. If your car gets stopped or it gets in an accident and they assess your car, you are covered. They're not going to void your policy. But what they'll do is they'll fit your car back to standard, so when they repair it, they'll put all standard parts back on. On a fully modified policy, what they'll do is they'll replace it exactly the way it was. So if you've got an AirTech intercooler, they'll replace the AirTech intercooler. If you've got baller wheels on, they'll put the baller wheels back on if they're damaged. So I pay more than I could pay if I just had a normal modified car policy, but I've got a fully modified car policy, so all of my mods are declared and everything's covered. So if the car gets stolen, I get reimbursed for the car and I also get reimbursed for the mods. So my car's got about 6 or 7 grand's worth of mods on, so it's quite a lot of money. I would always recommend that you do that. If you have got a modified car, get specialist insurance. If you've got a classic car, get specialist classic car insurance. It's just common sense really. Adrian Flux is who I use, like I say. I'll put a link in the description. The video is not sponsored, I'm not getting anything for saying that. They are just a really good company. So I pay £610 a year. If you paid that monthly, it's going to work at about 50, 60 quid a month, whatever. Something like that. I'm 34, I've got 17 years of driving experience and I've got maximum no claims. So you're not going to pay the same as me, you live in a different postcode, your car's going to be worth different values. I'm just saying that's what I pay. Get an insurance quote before you buy any car, not just a car like this. Any car you buy, always get an insurance quote first. But like I say, I'll link them down below because they are a really good company, they're really friendly, and they understand when you're talking about the mods. So when you're talking about your coilovers and your exhaust and your remap, they understand what you're talking about. They actually know what you mean. They're not just trying to sell you a policy, they take care, and you know, it's not just a 5-minute quote. I'll be honest, it doesn't just take 5 minutes because you've got to go through everything in the car, all the mods, anything you've changed, anything you've added, anything you've removed. You tell them everything, but they will cover you. So yeah, check them out. Your next thing is going to be your road tax. So your road tax on this car is £315 a year. On my 320 diesel BM, I was paying £30 a year. This one would work out at like £30 a month if you paid it monthly. So £315 is a lot of money. Basically, you're paying £315 to drive on bumpy roads in the UK. Nice. So bear that in mind. It's not a massive expense, £30 a month, but when you put that on top of your insurance and everything else, you know, everything does start to mount up, so, you know, take that into account. When it comes to maintaining the car, I think people have got these expectations that you're going to pay an absolute fortune to get the car serviced and parts and everything like that. It's not the case. So you can get my car serviced, a full service at the dealer. You can take the car forward, get a full service for £255. Now I don't think that is bad at all. That's less than I used to pay on my BM, and that was a 2-litre diesel. So maintaining the car properly, getting it serviced, £255 a year is not a massive amount of money. We pay more than that to get the Qashqai serviced. So, you know, it's, people expect them to be really expensive. Now, what I like to do when I get any car service is I'll buy the oil and take it to the garage. So they reduce the cost of the oil from the service, so that 255 would come down by 30 or 40 quid. But I like to provide the oil because then I know exactly what's going in the car. You can ask for specific oil when you get your car serviced, but it doesn't mean that's what they're going to put in. They could put anything in, and let's be honest, you'd never know. They could put olive oil in there, and you'd be none the wiser, would you? Think about it. Your tyres. So I thought about tyres a lot. I really thought about tyres a lot. But I like tyres, and I think tyres are important. So I've got some prices. So Avon ZZ5s are what I've got on. Watch my video where I fit my wheels and you'll see the tyres. I talk a bit about them, talk a lot about them, talk too much about them. They're going to set you back about 130, 140 quid, somewhere like that. Pilot Sport 4s Michelin's, they're going to set you back about 160. Pirelli P0s are going to set you back about 150. Or you can get a budget tyre for 60 or 70 quid. So you can't judge the price of the tyres on the car because it's nothing to do with the car. If you've got 19-inch wheels on a Fiat Punto, you're still going to pay the same for tyres, whether you get the budgets or whether you get the Pirellis. That price doesn't change because of the car. You can fit 18s and put 17s on if you want. You put 16s on. Probably couldn't put 16s on because it wouldn't go over the brake. But if you change the wheels, that's going to change the tyre price, and that's going to be the same on any car you buy. That's nothing to do with the car. Yes, the car comes fitted with 19s, a standard 225, 35 19s, but you can change the wheels, or the wheels might be changed when you buy it, but tyres are tyres. They're going to cost you the same for the same size tyre on any car you've got. So that's not really a big consideration. If you're happy with cheap tyres, buy cheap tyres, 60 or 70 quid. Yeah, I'll not talk about tyres anymore because I know that's something I talk about a lot. Other things, your headlight bulbs and your wipers, they're going to cost you the same as a Fiat Cinquecento or a 1.6 Focus. They're not specific to an RS. The headlight bulbs and the wipers, yes, they've got Xeons, but if your car's got Xeons, your bulbs are going to cost you the same. Your wiper blades are going to cost you the same. A puncture repair is going to cost you the same. Don't think that just because you've got a high-end or a performance car or a modified car that you're going to be charged through the nose for everything, because you're not. Brake pads, so people seem to think because they've got massive brakes that you pay a fortune for the brakes. Now, they are expensive compared to a 1.2 Corsa, but in reality you can get a full set of Brembo pads for 160 quid, and that is from Euro Car Part. Have a look, go on Euro Car Part, check yourself. The fronts are about 110 for a set, and the rears are about 50 quid for a set, maybe it's 55, so you're going to be looking somewhere around 160, 170 quid for a set of pads, which is not that bad. That's pretty much what you'd pay on an Audi or a BM or a Merc, so they're not ridiculously expensive. Taking general maintenance out of it, there's certain things that you will have to do to the car if it hasn't already been done when you buy it. So you're going to have to get the belts and the water pump done at around 70,000 mile or 10 years. All of the Mark IIs are 10 years old or coming up to 10 years old. They were released in 2009 and they only ran until 2010. I think the last run was a 60 plate. So they're all in that sort of age bracket now. Now I've seen people on the forums are saying they've been quoted 600, 700, 800, 900, even £1,000 to get the belts and the pump done. Don't pay that. There's a bloke in Sunderland who is, he's highly recommended. Anyone in the area who's got an RS uses them. The only cars he works on are STs and RSs, and he's absolutely brilliant. And he will do your belts and your water pump supplied and fitted genuine Ford parts for 340 quid. That is not a bad price. You're going to pay that on pretty much any car. So don't, if you Google it, it might come up at 500 quid, it might come up at 300 quid. But don't look at these prices where people are saying, oh, it's £1,000, it's £1,100 to get this done, because it's not. You've just got to know where to go. If anybody needs any work done on a car like this, give us a shout. I know a lot of people in the industry, I know a lot of people in the car world who can sort of recommend places, not just for Focuses, not just for RSs, for any cars. Let us know. I do know people in the industry, and hopefully I can help you out. Clutch and flywheel. So my clutch and flywheel has been done this year, got done in January, and that was 1,200 quid all in, uprated clutch, flywheel, supply, fitted, 1,200 quid. On me BMW 330D that I had a few years ago, I paid 800 or 900 quid, and that was mates rates. So a clutch and a flywheel on any car is not cheap. The parts themselves are not that expensive, so if you sort of look on Auto Car Parts or Euro Car Parts or go on eBay, you can get the clutch and the flywheels for a few hundred quid. That's not the biggie, and it's not the case of the garage taking your eyes out. It's a massive job. On a lot of cars you've got to take the engine out, you've always got to take the gearbox out. Take your gearbox out and get your clutch and your flywheel, but on some cars, because of the placement of the gearbox, it's really expensive. It's a lot of man hours to actually do the job. So 1,200 quid, is it that bad? I personally don't think it is. Another wear and tear item, so you've got your brakes and your tyres, exhaust. Exhausts, you're better off buying an expensive exhaust, a stainless steel exhaust, a Miltech Scorpion, a Thunderstorm, something like that. You'll generally get a lifetime warranty on a stainless steel exhaust. They're about £1,000, 1,200 quid, something around that sort of ballpark. You can get them for 700, 800 quid, but if you want a really high end one, you're going to pay about 1,200 quid. But that's it, that's your exhaust done. If you work that out over the length of time that you have the car, you might replace a normal exhaust. If you're keeping the car for 20 years, you might replace the exhaust 5 times, and you might pay 300 or 400 quid a time. So that investment, and it's a good performance mod, so it's not just a maintenance thing, it's a performance mod as well, so definitely keep that in mind. If you're wondering why I'm looking down, I've got a list, so I didn't forget what I was talking about, because sometimes I'll just get off on a tangent. Next thing on the list is the turbo. So you can get your turbo rebuilt. You don't have to, if your turbo blows, if you don't know this, if your turbo blows, you don't have to buy a new turbo, you can get your turbo rebuilt. Some places will take your turbo away, they'll rebuild it, and they'll give you it back when it's done. Some places you can do a turbo exchange, so you'll give them your broken one, and they'll give you a refurbished one, and they'll take the price off your turbo, so it's like kind of a part X. You can get a turbo rebuilt for 400 or 500 quid. Again, just because it's an RS, it doesn't cost any more. It's still a turbo, it's still getting rebuilt, the same process that they would follow if they were rebuilding a turbo on a diesel Clio. It's the same process. Obviously the turbo is bigger, but it's the same process. Your big cost, let's talk about your big cost. You're gonna be putting a lot of petrol in the car. So I've talked about this previously. If you are buying the car and you're concerned about the miles per gallon, don't buy it, it's not the right car. You're constantly going to be at the petrol station. I'm averaging between 9 and 14 miles to the gallon. I don't worry about the fuel costs. I knew before I bought the car I've had performance cars in the past where I've put a lot of petrol in on a regular basis. It's not a consideration if this is the kind of car you're buying, and if it is, then it's definitely not the right car for you. You will end up on first name terms with Sandra at the BP. You'll go in, you'll be like, alright Sandra, usual, fill us up, and that's what you're going to do. That is where you're going to spend your time. You're going to spend your time cleaning your car and putting petrol in your car, because that is just what it's like. They're never going to be a good MPG car. It's not something that you're going to be thinking, oh, it's not that bad, because it is. Trust us, it is bad. It is really bad. But when you think about how much fun you have in the car and how much it puts a smile on your face, you cannot put a price on that. Well, you can, it's about £1.40 a litre, but you get a lot of enjoyment out of it, and it is a really fun car. I see it all the time, it's amazing. Puts a smile on my face every single time I drive it. So I actually recorded this video in the car, like I normally do, but it didn't have any sound. I don't know why, so that's why I'm currently sitting in my kitchen on a night with a beer, talking to yous on the camera, because this is the second time I've done this video today, but the first time didn't have any sound, so here we are. So I think that's kind of going to be your main things now. There is going to be other maintenance, so a reverse camera. The reverse camera is the bane of my life at the minute. So I waited, what month are we in now? June. So I waited about 4 months for a reverse camera because I ordered it. So I've said before that when you order certain parts, they're not the most expensive, but they take a while. Like that oil sale I got for the drive shaft sale was 14 quid. Not expensive, but had to wait a few weeks for it. But the reverse camera, I'm not even going to go into it. Basically I waited about 4 months for it, turned up, fitted it, still not working. It's going back into the garage. It's got a few things that need doing. The radiator's got a leak, the reverse camera's not working, there's a problem with the sat nav. So it is going into the garage in a few weeks, but I'll do an update video on that just to kind of tell you what's going on. But you can get the parts and they're not expensive. Have a look on eBay, jump on eBay, just search for parts. Have a look on Auto Car Parts, Euro Car Parts. You'll see that the parts for the cars are not that expensive. Your biggest expense is always going to be your fuel. After your insurance, it's fuel. Well, you're going to pay more in fuel than your insurance, but as a one-off payment, your biggest thing is going to be your insurance. And that's pretty much it. So if you've got any questions, if there's anything I haven't covered or anything you want any more information on, drop a comment down below. Send us a message on Instagram. I'll leave my Instagram down below, and I will help you as much as I can. Like I say, I know quite a lot of people in the industry. I've got some industry knowledge. I've worked in the industry before. So if you've got questions, not just on these cars, on any car in general, just drop it down below. And if I can't help you out, I'm sure somebody else in the comments will. Or send us a direct message and I'll get back to you. I do reply to everyone. If you've ever messaged us or you've ever left a comment, you will know that I do get back to everyone. If you've learned anything from the video, or if you've enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Like I keep saying, I keep whittling on. I'm really trying to grow the channel, and if you are watching the videos and you haven't subscribed, you shan't, and you need to subscribe. Double thumbs up. Yeah, there you go, that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed the video, I hope you found it useful, and I'll see you on the next one.
Yeah.